Good morning, everyone. I am Jennifer Sells out here in Denver, Colorado. And as we sit along and wait for people to join, I just want to talk about the real estate market this week. I'm sure everybody in different parts of the country are feeling different things. Here in Denver, it's kind of crazy. So, in certain price ranges and certain areas, I put two on in two very different areas, and the price points were good. So we were under 650, and we went under contract on both of those. On the flip side, I have one priced at 495 up in an area that you can build R2 on, which is residential 2 unit. And that one is sitting, and I cannot figure that out for the love of anything. I can't figure that one out. And then, in the $750,000 range, those are kind of stale. They're sitting on the market for a little bit longer. So I think it has to do with interest rates. I think it has to do with the election. And I think it has to do with property taxes and property insurance. So I don't know. I'm interested if anybody wants to message me on Facebook or whatever and just tell me about your market and how things are moving. I would love to hear. That is one of my favorite things, is to know how California is doing versus Colorado. For many, many, many years, Colorado, for like 20 years, we would watch what California did, and we would always be 6 months behind. So if California popped off in 6 months, we would be going crazy. If California fell, then 6 months later, we would fall. So I always like to watch what's going on around the country. So as we are, going into this different kind of real estate world, I wanted to talk to you about what I do and what my team does to win the listings. And I'm not talking about a listing presentation. There are some incredible listing presentation in the agent collective. Just go back through. I believe there was a series back in May, I think it was May, that Jesse had, 8 or 9 people do their listing presentations. And I took something from every single person there. So I do highly encourage you to roll back through the old videos and find the listing presentations and watch them all. Don't just watch one, watch them all, because they're fabulous. Anyways, so what I want to talk to you about is you get a call, ring, or you cold call, or however it is. Hey, Alex, how are you today? It's you and me. So what I'm talking about today is winning the listing presentation, but doing it differently. I just said, hey, roll back in time and go look at all of the great listing presentations that Agent Collective has, because of course there's something you can pull from every single one. But what I'm talking about, what I do with my team, is the cash offers. So I get a phone call and somebody wants to list their house. I don't go empty-handed. I don't just go with the traditional marketing approach. It can backfire if you don't present it correctly. So I kind of want to go over that today. But I also think that it helps you win because it makes you an authority in the market, and it shows that you have more tools in your toolbox than other agents. So, hey, Alex, have you ever dealt with bringing cash offers to your sellers, and do you do it every time? I do.
No, I do. I started the express offer training and then never finished it.
Yeah. So express offers is through Open Door, and it's EXP's exclusive. And sometimes that works, but not very rarely. I think I maybe get one out of, 40 uploads. But what is working for me is when I take the homeward offers and the home light offers, the move first, sell later offers. It's a little bit more work, and you have to really know what you're talking about when you're handing it to your sellers. We have a lot of sellers that are on the fence and they're like, we need to move into a retirement home, or I need to move my dad into a retirement home. And we don't want people in the house. When that happens, I say, okay, let's talk about the Homeward or Home Light offer, which is a Move First program. And they work differently, but they also work the same. So what I do is the moment I get the address, 1234 Seller Street, I go into Express Offers, I see if it qualifies. And hey, by the way, I apologize. I have people painting my house and they're like right outside my window, if you can hear that. But okay, back to it. So what I do is I get the address, 1234 Seller Street. I go directly, immediately, that second, as soon as I get the lead, to Express Offers. And I put that in and I see if they qualify. And the reason that I do it is, does anybody want to jump in? You have to be the first. Does anybody know why? No? Because if you put it in and it says this house doesn't qualify, there are two reasons. One, they already uploaded it themselves. Actually, three reasons. Two, another agent already uploaded it in there and Express Offers won't let you see the bid. Or three, they have solar panels. Actually, it's four. Or they're built before 1950. So that's the reasons. And I would say out of all of them, probably 85 to 90% of the time, if it doesn't qualify through Express Offers, there's another agent that has already uploaded it. So keep that in mind. It gives you a clue that you're competing. Okay. So I get that offer if I have it, I print it out, and I have to put it into my own format because, of course, if you are familiar with Express Offers, it doesn't give you a printable page. So I use a snippet, pull that out, and put it into a little special letter that says, hey, cash offers are usually lower than what you can get on the traditional market, yada, yada, yada. And then I print that out. And then I go to Homeward and I go to Home Light and I see if I can get an initial offer for the Move First program. And then I print out their guidelines. And what this does, usually on Homeward, I can get an initial offer. Sometimes on Home Light, I cannot. Usually they want pictures. But what I do is now I have like a straight cash offer and then I have a Move First offer usually. And then I have a secondary option that with like Home Light that says how it's different. And then I do the traditional CMA and I show up. And of course I show them all my fancy yada yadas and I win because I say, okay, let's look at the baseline of what they're going to give you. So your cash offers, they want to build in X% profit. And your Move First program, this is what they think that these are the things that they think that the house is worth. And they're going to give you 80% of your equity or 90% of your equity. You can go and you can buy another house. And as soon as you move, then we can put your house on the market. I don't get paid until your house sells. And that's the most important line that you can set. I don't get paid until your house sells. Because that way they don't think that you're just going to get them paid their equity, partial of their equity paid. So they go buy another house and then they're just going to be high and dry, right? And then of course I take the traditional CMA and all that in my program. And I would tell you that when I do that and I have my ducks in a row, I get most of my listing. Does anybody have any questions like that? And then I'll kind of go into the different caveats of those programs. Now, I don't know. Like I'm talking to. It's odd to be on these, anyways, and just see yourself talking. Anyways, so if you're doing Homeward, go into the program, sign up for the program, get your login, print out the different fees and such and so on, right? Basically, the way Homeward works is I think they go to just about any state. So I get this a lot with relocation. Somebody needs to go to Texas fast, or they need to go to South Carolina fast. So what we do is we do the Homeward offer, and then the Homeward offer is sometimes low. So I have to put that into my sellers and say, hey, the Homeward offer is sometimes low. I have to physically upload 2 pictures of each room, the front and the back. I have to tell them, how old the furnace is, how old the roof is, and then give them a CMA. And if my CMA says your house is worth more, they will offer you more, but this is the baseline. And they like it, right? There is additional fees to Homeward. And if the property sells for more, of course, they get the difference. The thing about Homeward that can be great and can be terrible, depending on the price point, is let's say I have somebody that's selling a house for, it doesn't even matter, whatever they're selling their house for. And they're going to go and they're going to buy a house in Alex's town, and the purchase price is going to be $600,000. Okay. I don't know what their house payment was here in Colorado, but the way the program works is it's about 0.94% of the purchase price is their rent. So basically, if they buy a $600,000 house, they're going to be renting, because Homeward's going to buy that property for them. They're going to be renting about $6,000 a month until their house sells. That works for some people, and it doesn't work for others. And I think there's a 2% or 2.5%, don't quote me, fee on that as well. And you have to make sure that you explain to your sellers that sometimes you have to be careful about market predictions. Are we going to go up in the next 3 months? Or are we going to go down? We have to be really careful about pricing this home. Now, remember, client, if we sell for more, you get the rest. So if they're going to go and they're going to move in, they're going to go use Alex and buy up there, and then their rent's probably going to be $6,000 on this $600,000 home, which could be good, which could be bad. I don't know. But it helps people be able to get that house, move, and then put it on the market. They don't have to deal with all the crazy. Yes, once they sell their house here, then they just do the loan traditionally and buy the house from Homeward, and there's not additional fees on that side. Okay, with Home Light, they charge you 2.5%. And you get to use your own lender, you get to do whatever, and they are physically going to buy your house, right? But they're only going to give you 80% approximately of your value minus real estate fees, and minus repair costs, right? And then we put it on the market. I get it repaired. And then, so 2 days before you close on your next house, they close on yours, you get the money, you buy, Mr. Buyer, and then I put your house, then I get everything repaired, cleaned, put it on the market, and then I get paid. So once it's sold, it sells for more. Yay, Mr. Seller, you are going to make that. And you'll get the difference between the 80% and the 100% as soon as your house sells, plus any additional. The reason they do that is, what's the caveat? Holding costs, right? So if it takes more than 90 days, they start charging you out of that 80 to 100%. That is where a good agent and a not so good agent can get caught. You really have to be careful when you're doing these move first programs that you are pricing it dead on the money, maybe slightly lower, so that you know that it sells and your client doesn't have additional fees and costs. Anybody on here ever done one? I've done a few. No? I do think that even if you don't want to do them, which I would say only 5% or less are even interested in them. Once they figure out the fees and the costs, and you sit down with them and explain it. But what it does is it makes you an authority compared to the other 5 agents that they've talked to who don't have it in their toolbox. If you don't have the tools, yes, I used to use Zoom Casa, a while ago. The other thing is with express offers, which I have a private link to get the express offers thing. I just can't find it. I have to go back in and find my private link for express offers. I've also with Zoom Costa and iList. iList is another one. I used to pay for iList, and I had my own link for that. So you could do a move first or a cash offer program there as well. And the cool thing about iList is there was like 250 like people that would bid on it. But the problem is, and I finally gave it up, is that they were always wanting to make 30% profit margin, and then they would come in and just beat them up, or, the linoleum having a peel, or the house needing painted. So they would offer 30% less than market value, and then they would come after them for repairs. And that started affecting my business because, people are in trouble, yada, yada, yada. And they just can't. So I didn't want that reputation anymore. But there's a million different programs out there. Another thing that I do is I have certain local investors that I know have cash and I know buy. And so, for example, I have a listing coming up in Aurora. It needs some work. It would normally sell for $550,000. The backside of the house needs some siding repaired. The front step needs to be done. The inside needs to be painted. All the general, like you need to freshen it up. Maybe some new floors and paint, and then we'll be good. Well, the kid knows that he hasn't done the maintenance on the house that he's supposed to do. And I'm like, look, I can open this up to like the investors and all the other things, but you're not going to get more than maybe $425 for it. We can traditionally sell it and put it on the market for like $480, and you might get multiple bids, and we'll have the inspection notice up front so that they're aware and they've signed out that they've seen it, and they're not going to ask for, if it's an as-is sale, like $480, you're going to come out more, right? So I have a strategy is what I'm trying to tell you. And then the local investor guy, I know he's buying, at least 60 homes this year, and he's looking for that price point to purchase for rentals. So I have a lot of those kind of guys in town, some from Aurora, some for Denver, some for way up in Boulder, and some down here in Douglas County. Not so much down here in Douglas County, but anyways. So then when I get this listing, then I send it out and I say privately, hey, I have this one coming. If you have any interest, let me know. The other thing that I do is private listings. So has anybody done private listings yet? No. Okay, so private listings, they're interesting. I have one right now. The situation is the lady is 86 and her son is, they have a duplex that's in Grand Junction, and they are going to move her into one side of the duplex while another son lives on the other side of the duplex. And so they're getting her duplex ready for her to move. Now, she has a very unique property at a little place called the University Hills here in Denver. And it's sort of like a hoity-toity area that you want to live, where everything was like 1940s, 50s, and 60s homes. And most people are scraping them, and the lots are like 13,000 square feet. And then they're putting 3 levels on there with the garages in the back, like the 4-car. like $1 million houses, anywhere from 1.5 to 2.8 million. So what I did is I said, hey, listen, let's private listing this, and then I will take the listing, I'll send it to all the developers. And so that's what I did. So now I have like 10 developers running the numbers, see what they would like to offer on. And then if we don't get a developer, I had it appraised ahead of time, so I didn't miss the number, because it's a really hard neighborhood to do. And we will put it on the market November 1 as a real everyday listing open to the public. So I try to sell things off market too. It's all about your toolbox. Anybody have any questions? I see. No, Nicole just talked about Zoom Casa. No. Well, I hope, it's kind of a short one today since nobody has any questions. But that's what I do at all my listing. I, of course, have my traditional listing presentation. And one more thing. What I love to do is at every listing appointment, I take a handwritten piece of paper and I write down, quite literally, Zillow says your house is worth. Redfin says your house is worth. Realtor.com says your house is worth. CoreLogic says this. Movoto says this. Collateral Analytics says this. HomeBot says this, right? Because it gets... I want you guys all on your next listing appointment just to do it in handwriting like that and just say, hey, I just thought that was interesting to look at. Don't make an opinion on the price. Just go, I just thought this was really interesting to look at. Where do you think it's worth? And when they look at what the computers are spitting out, it's a different experience on a listing appointment. I just think that's another little thing I do with every single listing. All right. Well, I guess that's all I really have to say today then, because I just felt like everybody needed to hear what I do to grab somebody listing. Any questions? Anybody want to ask anything? No? Good? Bueller? Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I will catch you in 2 weeks.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.